Okay, welcome guys. This is episode 68. I can see on my screen there. Looks like we're up and running. Welcome to ChatTactic, where we're going to be talking about Distant Worlds 2 DLC, Starfield as well. I wasn't going to cover Starfield. I'll just go back into here onto our Steam page, and we can then start to sort of have a bit of a talk about things. Okay, hi Rogue and Quiet Sprints and Voodoo Dog, how you guys going? And Bilko and Jemison, hello. Saying I trained Marble Run the whole week, going to win again. There we go. Voodoo Dog's won a couple of times actually, so Voodoo Dog is probably, well, I haven't really kept a track of who's won the most of the marble runs. Today's a good giveaway as well actually. We've got Rogue Station, so I'll maybe just start off by talking a little bit about Rogue Station, which I did put a video up during the week. Hi CB. But let's have a look at Rogue Station, because it is not too bad at all, which is sort of like an FTL inspired, where you don't move around though, you've actually just got your station itself. You can see it's very positive with the reviews, 81%. And essentially what it is you've got like a space station that you then build, and you then get attacked with wave upon wave. In fact, I'll just bring this one up. I can sort of show you what's going on with this. And so in this case, you actually build your space station however you want to be building it, whichever way you want to do it. You've got different sorts of weapon bays that you can then sort of ultimately have. And then when the other ships come in, and they come in sort of like the roguelike element, is that they come through randomly, and so this is like a countdown over 7 days, and as they sort of come back in towards your space station through here, so you can sort of prepare a little bit for what's going to be coming. Hi Hugh David, how you going? And Scott Jackson, and Ulrich, and so what have we got? Rogue 77 saying cheater. What do you mean cheater? What have I done? Hi Battle Mode, how you going? So it's Scott saying, whenever I hear about a station game, I always think back to Space Station 13. I don't know that one, you know. Like I don't know if I've played that one or not. I always go back to the one with the little characters where you had to sort of build. Oh God, what was it called? It was back from the 1990s, I think. It was a very cool game. It was actually a game that was 3D actually for when it was. Hi Gary, how you going? I think it might have been early 2000s. Oh, I can't think of what it was now. It was an absolute classic. Incredible game. And then they tried to remake it a few times, and it just was always a shit remake. But the original game, and I can't think of what it's called. I think it began with S, but anyway, I can't think of it. Startopia, there we go. Scott's got it. Yeah. Yes, Startopia was the incredible game back in the day. They have tried. I think they've tried to remake that a few times. Have they? Startopia? Yeah, they did. Yeah, this is the remake, back up through here. And was this... Yeah, this is very positive as well. Actually, is this the remake? I think this... Or is this the original? This is 2001. I've got a feeling this may be the original. 90%. Yeah, this is the original. It was a pretty damn good game, that one, actually, I've got to say. Voodoo Dog saying Space Station 13 is easily the best and most complex space station simulation in existence. Is that on Steam? Space Station 14, which is free. Is there a 13? There's not, but there is a 14. So it's got to be one better than Space Station 13. You can see by the clowns. Coming soon. Okay, no idea. No idea. So it must be so old that it's predates Steam. Let's have a look and see if we can Google it. While we're looking at Space Station games, Space Station 13. So it's an online game, is that right? I should just go back and so that's its own area. If you look at the at Wikipedia, Wikipedia's got to be the best source. I do actually like Wikipedia a lot. So when was it developed? I mean, the graphics look old. Got the history? 2003. Okay, yep, there we go. Running as freeware beyond game engine. Okay, so Okay. Anyway, it's I don't remember this one at all. It does look complex, though, doesn't it? It does look complex. Okay, so hi Drexy, how you going? And Quiet Sprints is saying, got Dominions 5 during the Steam sale. Is your tutorial series from 2020 still helpful? Yeah, I think it is. You mentioned that Dominions made huge changes during its lifetime. It's made changes to, like I think, yeah, definitely the any tutorial, even going back to version 3 of the game, would actually, that I'm talking like 10 years, they're all going to be helpful because it changes a little bit. Where it will be different is in the specific application of certain spells or whatever it might be, but it's not going to be dramatic. So yes, that tutorial series would still be very, very relevant to the current version of the game. So they haven't dramatically changed it. What they have done is added more factions. So of course they're going to be having different ways of sort of playing those. I can't remember what I said in the 2020 series, but I would assume that I suggested that you played Ulm as your first game. That would be what I'd recommend anyway. Ulm is an easy one to get your hand on. Okay, so Voodoo Dog saying 14 never released. Devs grew too old and switched to real life things, so family and stuff. Well, it is coming, isn't it, to Steam? It looks the same. It actually looks the same. It looks like it might be good. I think we might have to keep an eye on this one. The clown in space thing bothers me. that just I don't know. That just doesn't look good, does it? It is early access at the moment. It's got coming soon. Yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen. Inspired by the cult classic Space Station 13, tells the story of an ordinary shift on. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what this will be like. Anyway, we'll leave that one where that is. Reading a few more of the comments. Yep, 2003 says battle mode. Highly recommend watching the ChatTactic review of Space Station 13. It's a long video, so maybe off stream. But it's so much fun, says Voodoo Dog. Emerald is in sort of saying Space Station 30 is one hell of a game. There we go. Jeez, a lot of people have played it. It's still going strong. Great video today, Battle Mode. I was going to talk about that actually. Sharky Mouth has sort of said that one. I didn't get a chance to really. I only started watching it. It only just came up just as I was getting ready to go into here. But it does look like a very, very big curated video. It just needs a. It needs contents. So you can flick through to the various tips. I might show that actually. Let's just go across. I'll just get rid of that one and go to YouTube. Yeah, so I was going to give a shout out to Battle Mode with this video, even though I haven't actually looked at it. And also I was going to give a shout out to Larry as well, who's done a massive video there. So this one just came out two hours ago. So how to enjoy very long and very large. I'll just close that one off. I've sort of been skimming forward because I only saw it a few minutes ago before I started doing it. So how to enjoy very long, large and complex strategy games. Now I was just flicking through trying to find all the different numbers, but there is no index of the actual game itself. So I'm guessing that Ben will do that when he's got time. But anyway, that's not there yet. I think it's because there's lots and lots of little approaches, and as I say, I haven't really had a good look, but I do mean to go and actually have a good look at this one when I've got a bit of time. So that's just a little bit of a shout out there to Battle Mode, or Ben, who's in the chat at the moment, and Larry Monty I was going to also give a shout out to. So Drexy's then saying, Ben, looking forward to this video. So yes, it's deliberately no index. Ben, that's not good. Or Battle Mode, that's not good. So Rogue is saying, been loving Battle Mode's Shadow Empire vids. Very well done stuff. Appreciate both your time on your vids. And I want people to watch the whole video. And so William is saying, you've been watching a lot of Battle Mode lately. The bud is more general than specific games. Yep, there we go. So anyway, I wanted to give a shout out because I did see that video drop. And also to Larry Monty. If you don't know if you don't know Larry's work, he really is just a Distant Worlds type player, but he has streamed in the last, God, when was this? I'll just go to his channel, because there was a live stream that he did. He doesn't upload much. You can see there the uploads are sort of few and far between. I'll just find the live playlist, because he did do a massive 8-hour live stream, and I haven't watched a lot of it, but Larry is hardcore Distant Worlds. If you like Distant Worlds content, then Larry really knows the game backwards. He's also on the beta testing team, and he's very, very active with what's going on there. So yeah, and this one, look at this. Look at what Larry's done. 8 hours of actual content, more than 8 hours of content, nearly 9 hours of content, all indexed out. Gee, someone could learn a lesson from this. This is diligence. Trick is saying I pretty much learned Distant Worlds from Larry. Yeah, I wanted to shout out both Battle Mode and Larry. But see, Larry puts the effort in, whereas Battle Mode, it's a half an hour video. Oh, finding a way to get that indexed is a bit too difficult. I'm ribbing Battle Mode, of course. But anyway, this has actually gone through. I wouldn't do it, to be honest. I wouldn't do what he's done here. But he's actually put so much indexing in it, so you can actually sort of really sort of. And he's playing as a Cormino in this particular run through. So anyway, that's. Just wanted to give a shout out to both for this video in particular, for the Cormino. It goes a long, long way in, like as I say, sort of 9 hours. And Larry's streams are like on this stream. He doesn't rush things. He just sort of he talks about all of them. So Drexy's saying get him, Daz. Yeah, no. Well, that's it's just the difference in application with 9 hours of indexing and half an hour of not indexing is chalk and cheese there. Okay, so Battlemode's saying, I mean, if people watch the whole 8 hours, that's a lot of watch time and revenue. It's too long, really. If he was going to index, he probably should have split it up and re-uploaded them. But anyway, it's I know that like Larry does his videos out of he just enjoys doing it, and so for him it's a hobby. But I do want to give a shout out to Larry and also to Battle Mode with those videos. As I say, I do look forward to, in all seriousness, I do look forward to looking at Battle Mode's video there as well. It does look like it's going to be a good one. And unlike his other video, no, I'm joking again. Okay, so so it took him 4 hours to do 10 years in the game. I don't mind that, to be honest. This is actually one of the things that I find. I've just started putting up my own series as well. I might just go back to my videos. I've been recording a series myself of Distant Worlds, and I do want to talk about Distant Worlds today. If we go to my videos, I guess. So I've just started to sort of upload these, but the thing I find is that so many places where you go and watch Distant Worlds videos, they play them on. So I've just got the first one is out, and the second one it just came out an hour ago. So I've scheduled this one. I've got a couple more which I haven't actually processed yet, but so I've just got this one which came out an hour ago. Just the designing your first fleet for the Gizarians, and then this one over through here was just basically the introduction. But the thing I find with Distant Worlds is that people play it on 4 times speed because they think that they have to win the game, and it's not about winning a Distant Worlds game. It's a simulation, so you actually miss so much if you do play it at 4 times speed. I can almost guarantee that nearly everyone else, any other Distant, I don't want to do it because I don't want to embarrass other people, but it's sort of every other stream I see of Distant Worlds 2 is done at 4 times speed all the way through, and it really isn't important. Like, it's just not something that is actually needed. Like, it's just not a thing that like I find that when you do that, you miss so much in the game. And I know that Larry also doesn't like playing it at a high speed. I now really don't go over 2 times speed at like when there's just nothing happening. Even when there's nothing happening, there's still something happening somewhere. Okay, so Roger's saying, personally, I love long vids. A person I watch does 6-hour streams or so, but probably the minority. No, I think it's actually changing again. Like I've noticed that I've been starting to put out long. I used to always try to finish them off at half an hour, and then I noticed that there were a lot of other streamers that were then finishing them off at 10 minutes or 20 minutes. 20 minutes seemed to be sort of like the new goal. This was a couple of years ago, but now I'm finding that I'm actually enjoying the games more if I actually aim for more between 3/4 of an hour and an hour. So I'm starting to now pad mine back out again. You can sort of cover more distance in one session. So so I think people are sort of more willing to actually just digest that sort of content now. Funny how things change. I think I've probably missed a few comments there, but I'll just keep on sort of down where my eyes were before. Okay, so Batman was saying I'm getting so picked on today, and he's weeping. Everyone feels sorry for him, but no, go and look at his video. That video he dropped today that does look interesting, so I'm looking forward to seeing that one. Distant Worlds, though, we'll talk about that one. But yeah, so the giveaway today at the end of the session will be for Rogue Station, which you can sort of see through here, which I really have enjoyed playing a lot, actually. That was good. So I did put a video up about that one as well. Hi, Charenk, how you going? And hi, Banksy. And Chris is saying hi as well. Spellman's saying I just do long videos. I don't care about the algorithm for my own channel. Yeah, it's sort of, I think that in one sense, the algorithm's a pain in the ass, because it's sort of, when you're sort of relying on trying to get something out of the videos, it's which I am, unfortunately, because my actual day work job has really dried up a lot over this year. And so it's sort of one of those things where it's I'm trying to make the most out of the algorithm without being too attached to the algorithm, which is a bit of a balancing act. Hi, Genos, how you going? Battleman's saying, I did notice I got a lot less videos on one long video. YouTube, sorry, a lot less videos on one very long video. I think you mean views. YouTube definitely derailed it, but I don't think it really matters that much. Banksy's saying, Battleman, I saw some of your Conquest of Elysium vids and I really liked it. There we go. So Chris is saying, I've heard through the grapevine that Interstellar Space Genesis has a new DLC coming. We might have a look at that. That would be interesting to see. What I might do is I might start off with Distant Worlds, though, and then we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about the other games sort of after that. So I'll come, if I miss ISG, just remind me and we'll come back. All right, so Distant Worlds 2 has got a new DLC which is coming this week, so just in a few more days' time, and it's awesomely good. So I can sort of categorically sort of say that I'm really, really impressed with it. There's so much in it. If we just go back in, I'll just go and grab the Steam page for it. Distant Worlds 2. It's funny. I'm so surprised at the review scores that this game gets. It is just such a good game. Like, it's just so deep with what it actually has. I'm sort of really, my mind is blown that it attracts such low scores, and I don't get it. It's just so special, this game. Like, it's so different than anything else out there. It's very, very unique. I sort of hope that at some point the general gaming public, and I'm guessing it must be just the general gaming public that just can't get into it, and I think it's what I think comes down. A lot of it comes down to. I think that's why people play it on 4 times speed. I think that's actually a symptom of the mindset problem that people have with the game, and I think that's the biggest thing I find with any of the Distant Worlds games, the original ones as well included, is. I'll just stop that from talking. But I find that that's actually something where there's where people go into the game assuming it's like every other strategy game, where the idea is to expand as fast as you possibly can, get your fleets out and about and doing all these other different bits and pieces, and thinking that they've got to work the whole system. Whereas Distant Worlds is, for me, because you can automate literally everything, you just pick and choose what you want to then focus on. So whatever interests you, you just focus on that, but just play it slowly. It's like a story that unravels over time, even though it's all completely random. And it's just funny. I do sort of see, like, it's funny seeing so many people cover the game at 4 times speed for the whole game. I don't, like, when there's absolutely nothing happening, 4 times speed, yeah, it'll get you through to the next thing that has to happen. But yeah, it's just, it blows my mind to see that. I'm not being negative, but I just don't understand. I can see why it gets poor reviews if that's the way people are playing it. I don't know if that makes sense. So Paul is saying harder with these sort of games to do videos that are too short. Yes. Drex is saying, think the bad launch has a lot to do with that. It does, but then we look at this as recent reviews are mixed, whereas the all reviews are at 70%. So it's actually eight percentage points off when the game has improved out of sight in the last few months. Like, it really is a hell of a lot. So here's Larry now, actually. Larry, we just gave you a big shout out before. Larry's saying, I streamed the game at normal speed for 9 hours the other day, drilled down into the early game manual play. Literally showed your 9-hour stream. Just you must have been out when I was showing that one, because I was just showing how and I was just commenting I would never have tried to index that whole 9-hour stream that you did. So anyway, yeah, big shout out to both to Battle Mode and to Larry. Larry, of course, very diligent with the indexing a 9-hour stream, and Battle Mode, of course, not so diligent, not indexing his half hour video. But anyway, that's the way it goes. I'll bet you by the time we finish this stream, Battle Mode will have actually put an index into that particular one. No, probably won't. But anyway, that was 9 hours. I'm only about an hour into that particular one. I was watching it at lunchtime yesterday, that big long stream. But yeah, no, it's very, very long. So yeah, as I said before, Larry's video on the Cormino there for 9 hours, and again, just normal speed. That's the best way to play the game. It's and it's, as I was saying before, it's just funny how many people seem to have to rush and get through it at 4 times speed. You miss so much immersion in the game itself. But the other big thing I think that people come into the game with is assuming it's like Stellaris or like Gal Civ or any of these other games, or Interstellar Space Genesis, where it is much more of a game. Like those other games are more gamey, where there's more abstraction, there's less immersion. Whereas it's more about the game mechanics, and then actually trying to sort of very quickly get advantage in the game. Whereas Distant Worlds, as I said before, it's a space opera. It's a simulation. You basically sit back and just sort of let the game actually come to you to a large degree, and then sort of just act on what does come up there. But I find it very engaging, very exciting, but also quite relaxing, which is sort of a funny sort of mix. So very, very unique. Gary Oker saying not being able to queue orders, it I think hurts the review scores a lot. It also encourages automatic play and 4 times speed. That is a big problem in the game. There's still a lot of those problems. Like there's no measuring tools, as you say, no queuing of orders. I don't know why they didn't put the queuing orders in. That seems to be such an oversight. There's a lot of things, a lot of decisions have been made that I think that they will get to eventually. They just haven't got to them yet. When I was streaming the other day, Eric had finished a stream that Eric, one of the developers, came in, and we were able to ask him a few questions. And he said that the measurement tools had been worked on, but then had been put on the back burner while they then worked on more critical things. So that will come. There was a whole lot of stuff that he had mentioned that will actually be coming. So the game, again, will just get better and better and better. I'm saying I'm never going to hear the end of it. Hey, just embrace the laziness, Ben. Embrace the laziness. Okay, so Drex is then saying Codeforce have been very slow updating the base races. Pretty sure during the last DLC they would want to update a race every month. Yeah, I agree with that too, Drexy. I think it's I don't know why they haven't incrementally sort of changed the races and actually given them that uniqueness that the DLC races have got. It makes such a difference playing those DLC factions. Like the new ones coming with both the Cormino and the Gizarians, the way of playing them is so interesting because of the uniqueness of those factions. Maybe they just need to really think about it. That's the only thing I can put it down to. But I don't know why it's taking so long with those. So Larry's saying, got about 6 hours into adding titling timestamps on the VOD. I got sick of my own voice. Yeah, no, I hate doing indexing even just for a 1 hour video. It's painful. There is actually there is a way you can do it, and I haven't I've loaded it onto my computer, but I haven't actually tried it. Just when you're actually recording, there's a plug-in for OBS, and I've got a keyboard shortcut somewhere on my computer. I forget where it is, but you can actually create like a bookmark file where when you click the button, and I think it may be on my 0 key or delete key or something. When you click it, it actually then puts a timestamp as you're talking, and so that way you can come back later. And that's, I meant to do that with a few videos, but I've now forgotten what that actually is. So anyway, if you are a streamer, there is actually a tool that you can use to help with the bookmarking. But then you've got to remember to actually do it at the time of your actual presentation. Okay, so yeah, Bellamy saying totally agree on playing Distant Worlds 2 too fast. Yeah, it really does wreck the immersion. Completely wrecks the immersion. So VidiDoc saying I have many problems with the game. Too long to write up in one comment here. I can understand the rating. I want to like it, but I just can't. Yeah, it's sort of interesting. Again, like people. I find the biggest problem that people have is that they approach the game thinking they have to manage every single aspect of it, and you just don't. Like it's, you can really just play it with one ship if you wanted to, and just play it whichever way you do like it. So I know that I do tend to min-max a lot of little things in the game, and particularly in the series that I'm uploading at the moment, I actually did step in and make sure that my economy didn't get bogged down, things like this. So, but you don't have to do that. Commander Grados is saying I jumped into this game after Solaris and it was totally different. I agree to that. Yes, it is. You've got to have a very different mindset. And it's that, for me, is the secret to playing Distant Worlds, is to actually change your mindset from trying to expand as fast as you can and all those sorts of bits and pieces, which will ultimately slow you down, and just let the game almost sort of just play its own way for a large portion of the time. Okay, so Tenra is saying, I just find that the way Distant Worlds 2 handles bad, a mixture of user interface and automation, makes me feel like I'm just a bystander with little control unless I want to move mountains to make something work my way. Yeah, look, and I guess I can see that as well. I mean, it is, and that's, I think you have to get into the point where you are happy to, like I used to be happy to go and just let the game run, and go and have lunch and then come back and see what problems I've actually then got. Okay, so Battle Mode saying, I'll be honest, I'm looking at YouTube Studio and cannot find where you do the chapter masks. Yeah, you can. There's two ways, Ben. Actually, afterwards, if you want to chat to me, I can show you on Discord. There's two ways to do it. You either just do it on a text file and load it in with the starting with 00:00 with introduction or something like that. But there is also one in the editor as well in YouTube. But I tend to just use the original one where I just rattle through the video at 2 times speed and basically just when I see that there's a change, I just note the time and subtract 5 seconds basically. But that's what I tend to do. But you can, it's quite handy actually in the YouTube editing of the videos as well. Okay, so Tenor is saying with Distant Worlds 2, the grand strategy space auto battle. See, I don't see it as an auto battler at all. For me, it's very much a game that it's very hands-on in battle if you want it to be. I mean, it can be an auto battler, but it doesn't have to be. And particularly with the design of the ships, I just love it. Chris is saying, anyway, I need to pop to the shops, so I'll listen on my phone whilst doing so. So, okay, thanks, Chris. William is saying, Tenry, that's because the sim-like approach, a more games approach. Galciv is another step away from sim to game, like 3 different classes of games, yes. So battle mode, Larry's saying to just add the time in the video description. Boom, done. Yeah, so it ends up in the video description. That's where the indexing does happen. So battle mode's saying, no worries, guys, I'll figure it. I'm just being lazy. No, please, Ben, let us do it all for you. Larry's done a 9-hour one. Larry can do it for you if you like. So I'll let Larry do all the indexing for you. It's sort of funny. Like I to be honest, I used to have people that used to do that for, like, where they would actually watch the video and actually, if they were stuck trying to figure out where things actually were with indexing, they would actually do it for me, which is fantastic. Really, really cool. So Battlemate saying, got it, guys. Thanks. There we go. Michael saying, not sure why the first Distant Worlds caught my interest more. Maybe it's because when Distant Worlds 2 it came out, I wasn't a fan of the limited ship component weapon slot, or maybe it's the mods for Distant Worlds 1. I think that it's the with that one there. Well, first of all, Distant Worlds Universe. By the time Distant Worlds Universe was out, there was so much content that had been put in, both with modding and also with the the game itself. There was just so much that had been added in. I don't think it's, like, for me, it's definitely not the... I find the ship so much more engaging in Distant Worlds 2 than Distant Worlds 1. I love that you've got Fields of Fire. Like, that really does... it's a real game changer, because it changes your whole strategy as to how you approach combat. So it's much more involved, I think, Distant Worlds 2, so, and which gives you much more immersion. Okay, so Commander Grados is saying, I failed to grasp the fun in the game. I have way too much of a Stellaris min-max game mechanic mindset. Yes, you have to get out of that mindset. And saying, any recommendations how I should try this game again? I haven't touched it since the DLC arrived. Yeah, look, as I said, if you're in the video that in episode 0, I do go through how I think you've got to change your mindset from those other games into the mindset of playing Distant Worlds. And a large portion of that is just to roll with the simulation and then just get involved in the little bits that you're interested in. So try to identify what it is in the game that you actually like. For me, my main like is the fleets. I really, really like building the fleets and looking after fleets. So that's how I play the game. And I leave pretty much everything else on automation to a large degree. I still step in and get what I want, but the game, I leave everything else on auto and then just step in when I need to. But it really is just one of those things where you're just saying, yeah, going backwards with ship components in Distant Worlds 2 is odd. I don't think so. I think that for me made the game. It made it so much better than Distant Worlds 1, the way that the components were done, and also the limitations of the ship classes. Let me show you, actually, because I just want to show you sort of how the game, like, it's complex the way that you can manage it, but it's very, very, very good. Commander Great also saying, honestly, I skipped that video. I know, that's fine. It's fine. It's I know that most people do actually with episode 0s because there's no gameplay, but the episode 0s, the setup of a series, and also just how to play the game. A lot of the preparation work is done in those other videos, but I can show you. I'll load up as an example. I'll show you how I'm using automation and also just ship designs using the Gizarians in the current. Like, this will be a bit of a spoiler for the series, but it won't. I'll only show the setups that I've actually got, with the actual game itself. I won't show you the actual game as such. So I'll just continue the game. And then it literally just finished recording at this point. So I won't zoom in or show anything that's going on here, but what I will do is I'll show you the, first of all, I'll show you the templates for the fleets, because if you're doing everything manually, like, I'll just go back to my home world, back up in through here, for example. If you are one of the people who builds ships, like builds your fleets by clicking on these, and then actually I don't have enough money to build anything at this stage. But if you start to sort of build whatever type of ship you want and build whatever number you want and cobble your fleets together that way, that's a lot of work ultimately to do it that way. It's a simpler way to get the job done, but it's not a very good automated way to do it. So you're better off not doing your fleets manually that way, even though that's probably the most intuitive way to actually put them together, is to literally just build ships from your spaceports and then combine them into actual fleets. I find the best way is to use the fleets tab through here. It's funny because this one is a fleets templates, but it doesn't actually have a tooltip, but that's the button there. And from there, you've then got, the game gives you 4 starting fleets. These are the 4 different classes of fleets you can have, but you can actually add new fleets in as well. And so I'm using 3 fleets now in the game. So, but the main ones that I started off with playing as the Gizarians was I used it on the defense fleet. So you just use whichever one you want to be using. So I was thinking I was probably ultimately going to be using I wasn't going to be moving away from my home system much, so I started with that one and just went to edit. So when you go into edit, you can then choose what type of ships that you actually want. And so in this case, I'm using 4 escorts and a troop transport. And so you can be very specific with how you want these fleets to be worked. So you don't have to then sort of go and start to micromanage things, because people were complaining very heavily about the about actually that the fleets would change without you wanting them to change. When you control it this way, this one will only, the escorts that I'm using through here will only use the latest design for the hull heavy escort. So with that one there, I've told it only use the hull for the heavy escort. It has to be an escort class. So having the limitation of the class name, the way that they've now done it in Distant Worlds 2, and remember in Distant Worlds 1, you only had one class name, and basically that was it. You couldn't actually extrapolate it out and make it more meaningful. Now in the new game, you've got like 4 or 5 classes of the same escort. So we've got, like, for example, heavies, patrols, and escorts. We've got 3 different classes of escort. So I can actually have specific roles for each of these classes if I wanted to. In this case, I'm just using the heavy escort. And so I'm just going to go with, whenever I build a new escort class, it will then choose that one. I could be very specific and say only use the beam heavy escort as an example, but if I just do that one, any heavy escort that I design, whatever the latest version is, will then be used in my fleets, and that's what it will then retrofit up to. So that makes it very, very simple to keep that working this way. For the troop transport, again, that's the class of ship and then the type of ship that I've designed. I've actually got 2 different types of troop transports using exactly the same hull. And so in this case, I can't just go use the latest design for the hull small troop transport, because I've now got a troop transport down through here and an assault transport here. So I'm using 2 different designs, which I don't want to spoil what I've done in the recordings, but the assault transport is really the key to playing the Gizarians in the early part of the game. It gives you such advantage by putting a troop transport in with escorts or any other sort of ship, just in the early part of playing as the Gizarians. So the assault transport version 3 is then placed. I then am very specific, because that's exactly the class of ship that I need in these initial fleets to be able to then go and capture other ships. So these are actually little capture parties to try to capture enemy ships. The troop transports themselves, this is more a generic troop transport. This is for invasion, so they have different roles. So I've just named it assault because that's exactly what I needed to have there. So by doing that one, I know that it won't retrofit up to the troop transport, even though that's my next latest design. It's going to only stick with the assault transports. And when I upgrade the assault transports, it will then also upgrade what I've got selected in here as well. So when it becomes obsolete and we've got a new version of it, it will then just keep on using the standard one. So this one automates the actual retrofitting of the whole fleet itself very, 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 very well. And so it allows incredible nuance to your ship design and ship and fleet composition. So I love this aspect. This is so far better and so far removed than anything Distant Worlds 1 had. It seriously is just this one little fleet template area is such a game changer. So if you are still doing it the old way from Distant Worlds, where you are going to your base, building the fleets this way, forget doing that. It's just not going to happen. This is such a better way to do it. And then when it comes to building the fleets, like for example, the next fleet that I want to be building is this attack fleet. And so I've designed a ship in through here. If we just go and edit this one, you can see through that one I've got a fuel tanker, and then I'm using frigates for this one. But it's just going to be a frigate. And I'm going to be redesigning that in the next episode that I'm recording, actually. But this will be my main attack fleet. And so these will be much more about trying to dominate space and trying to dominate the systems. It's only early game at this stage. But by setting these up, I've got such control over what we do. And then when we come back into here with the attack fleet selected, I can then go and build the new attack fleet at very specific locations, depending on where I've got resources. So I have a lot more choice and control over exactly what I'm doing. So it's very, very cool. So that that alone is dramatically more powerful than what we could do back in Distant Worlds 1. Like it is exponentially better. The other thing is with the ship designs as well. Like again, people had problems with the limitations. I love the limitations because it really makes you think hard. Like if I, for example, I know that I've just gotten myself, which I will be sort of doing. I won't do it in this one here, but I've got. If I just go and click on roles, I've just picked up, for example, the heavy frigate, the fast frigate, the fleet frigate. If we have a look, for example, at the I'm at the moment I've got the torpedo frigate is the one that I've actually got that I'm going to be using in the fleets, but these other ones are so much bigger, so I might as well actually make good use of these. If I go to this one here and just go and edit it, I can then sort of try to find other ways of sort of getting what I need from this one. This one's got a 360 mount. Having the fields of fire, for me, I find really, really interesting as well. Like it changes the battles dramatically. Like the Boscara, for example, are so much more immersive because all of their weaponry face the front. And the Gizarians are a little bit the same. We do actually have some areas that do cover the back of the ships, but not very much. And so for me, it's the whole... The limitations of the bays that you end up having back and through here, and so by having the limits, it really makes you think hard about how you're then going to squeeze what you need into the actual ships themselves. And I find that really, really enjoyable, just trying to get the best mix. Do you need range at the expense of firepower? Do you need to have protection? Do you need to make sure you've got like enough armor and shields rather than weaponry, whatever it might actually be? There's a lot of decision making that goes into the actual design that Distant Worlds 1 didn't even come close to. Like it's so far better than Distant Worlds 1, just in terms of the ship design. Once you start to sort of get into it, it's one of these things. I just find it like, as I say, the limitations of different things in this it is a limitation, but it's a limitation that makes the game so much more engaging, in my opinion. Anyway, I won't go through all the different bits and pieces with this, but I really love what they've done with the game. I think it's these sort of decisions have been incredibly good, just with what's gone on. Here we go. So Battlemode's already done his chapter marks. Shame is a great tool. There we go. How long did that take you? 3 minutes? I'm sorry, Ben, for wasting those 3 minutes of yours. But I was saying those Gizarian ships look fantastic. They really are. And the Quemino as well. Both factions play incredibly uniquely. But these are... I love the facings because it really makes you think hard about how you then approach your ship design as well. Particularly like playing as the Boscara, who were the most aggressive of the factions. It's you've really got to be going in to cause damage. It's very, very cool. Now I have actually missed a lot of everything. I'll just get out of here. I'll just cancel that one and quit out of this one and just read the comments again. I'll just leave this one open for now and just go back up to where I was. So Larry's saying my new Gizarian game has 2 Tekken Indies and a Tekken Empire right next to... Yeah, I actually I did this. I've actually forced this one to have the same thing when I set it up. So I've got Tekkens over here for the same food because the Gizarians basically need planets that they can eat. So that's pretty cool. Commander Greater saying that I watched it after the stream. I'm exploring in Starfield and the moons are a bit boring, especially when you have to find specific geological features. Michael's saying, but yeah, all those great mods for Distant Worlds Universe made it seem vast and endless in almost all aspects. For me, the one thing that Distant Worlds Universe still is much, much better than Distant Worlds 2 is in the way that the pirates work. I think that they actually are much, much better in Distant Worlds Universe, but then they came with a different version of Distant Worlds back in the day, and that will come to Distant Worlds 2 as well at some point. And also, I think as you're sort of highlighting there, the universe itself seemed almost more random than what it does in Distant Worlds 2. But that's also being worked on. There's more and more content now coming into Distant Worlds 2 that enhances the universe, like the artifact system and the way that the artifact system actually works, particularly with the playing as the Gizarians. Like you do actually, not the Gizarians, the Formino. There's a whole other aspect of the game, a whole mini game that you then have to play trying to get hold of artifacts in space. And so there's more and more of those sorts of things that, like for example, in Distant Worlds 1, getting hold of, Loris fruit or Caribbean spice, those sorts of things in Darbia fluid was an absolute game changer. And that hasn't really been big in this game, but it is getting more and more important to get hold of those resources. So it's it is becoming, it's heading in that sense the same way that Distant Worlds did as well. So I have big hopes that this game is going to easily surpass Distant Worlds 1 in terms of what it can actually do. But already for me, the combat, the ship design, the fleet design, all of that stuff is just light years ahead of where Distant Worlds 1 ever got to. It's just so different and interesting. And the different sorts of ships that you come up against as well, you do have to think about how you're going to be approaching things, like what's your loadout going to be? Do you need to change your fleet structure or design to overcome a different type of enemy? In the old game, you didn't have any of that because of the every single weapon fired from the middle of the sprite of the ship. There was no field of fire. They still had turning rates and things, but it wasn't important. Whereas now the turning rates are important if you're trying to sort of get in on the blind side of ships. And so the combat for me becomes so much more interesting in that sort of sense. I don't know. I find this game so much better in that sense. It's so much more involved and immersive. Anyway, we'll continue on. What did I get up to? Solaris player, do not trust too much in automatic options because in that game the AI is dumb. This game is getting better and better in that regard. Like even that ship that it just designed, it actually did use good componentry. Now I would get rid of the missiles and things, but it's designed what it thinks it needs to have, and it does do a good job of that. So you don't have to design your own ships. You can just go with the stock standard ships. But I do find that if you do get the DLC, like my actual fleets, the fleets that I'm using to get through the early game are I've just got like heavy escorts to bring down the shields of enemy ships, and then these small troop transports. What I've done is I've ditched. I've got to keep one troop compartment, but I've ditched the troop compartment, the extra one, and put in extra assault pods. So this is literally just for capturing ships, which gives the Gizarians a massive boost. And this one's got iron cannons again. So everything on these little ships or on these fleets is to very quickly capture enemy ships. That's actually what their whole approach is, which they get so many advantages by doing that. So this is, again, I love this aspect because they're very, very unique. I wouldn't have ever done that with any other faction, but in this case, putting a troop transport in with your escorts, and I've never done that before either in terms of an attack fleet, makes perfect sense with the way that this particular fleet does work. So very different thinking about how to work through the early game. And I love that immersion with the game, just the way it sort of then plays out. I will just quit out of this and we'll exit out to the desktop. I'll read a few more of these ones. Sorry guys, I've really missed a lot of the comments here. I'm just going to skip through. You were just saying I just don't like the artificial restrictions and limitations in the game. I like them. Battleman's saying, without limitations, you stare into the void. I like limitations in games. Yeah, I do. I really do as well. As long as they're not frivolous or stupid. In this case, I like how everything in the game. It's one of the things I like about Distant Worlds. Again, Distant Worlds 2 is just how every single component has a role to play in the ship design. So the limitations for me work out well, and needing to then go to get the bigger class of ships to then sort of put more componentry in, for me that's a limitation, even though it's probably not realistic. I do like that feel of it. It's sort of funny because it reminds me a little bit of like when I was playing Ruler Waves 3, like when I was doing the series of that. I love the limitations in there as well as to designing a ship that was historically accurate back in the turn of the 1900s, like into the late 1800s, early 1900s, just sort of with the whole way that the limitations with building and all that sorts of things were sort of modelled in the game. And Distant Worlds, in one sense, is a bit the same in that same sort of limitations, which again, I do like those limitations. Yeah, Ben's also saying I don't miss the old ship designer from Distant Worlds Universe at all. Yeah, no, it's I did love Distant Worlds Universe, but I like Distant Worlds 2 a lot more. Okay, so there are yep. So you're just saying there are good limitations and bad ones that are not okay. I like them personally, but anyway, and again, each to their own. Everyone's going to have a different sort of outlook. Okay, so Battleman's saying you had 6 million ways to do the same one Steam guide build. Yeah, I think old system was way better. Says you're just now you just have 6 to 12 of the same. So I don't see that. I think that the changes they've made have really, really improved it for me anyway. Yeah, so Battleman's saying I do agree that the Galaxy generation isn't as good now, but that will improve. That will improve over time. Okay, so, and Diamond saying, I love playing as a Distant Worlds Universe Pirates. Yes, they were fun. I can't wait for that to be added into the game. Disabling player options is not a good way to improve content. I don't think it did. I actually think that what they've done is finessed what you can do in Distant Worlds 2. I found it too open. Like Distant Worlds Universe, you could design whatever you wanted, pretty much within its limitations and it was still fun trying to sort of like design a fleet that could travel into a certain location, take over a location, and then sort of build from there. I did enjoy that in Distant Worlds Universe, but I'm finding that the Distant Worlds 2 is getting to that same position, but it's just doing it through different methods. Battle Mode saying, I prefer the freedom of setting the galaxy to huge but sparsely populated with stars. That made the game so interesting. Lots of logistic challenges. You can't really do that now. Yes, you're right. It's so much easier to move around the galaxy now than what it was. I agree with that. I think it's the distances in Distant Worlds Universe were such a really good method of what you had to then overcome to keep on sort of bouncing around the galaxy. I would love to see something like that added to it. Michaelson saying, take Distant Worlds 2, Galaxy 4, Battlestar Galactica 2, Stellaris, Sins of a Solar Empire, and shake the box, poof, and only something good will come out. Sorbical saying, you're just so entirely depends on whether or not the game is designed for it. Distant Worlds 2 is. Yeah, I think, again, it's one of those things where, and each to their own, everyone plays games differently. Diamonds is saying, God, I'm sorry, I keep on missing things. Where do we get up to? Emperor of the Fading Suns needs a reboot. I haven't played that. So, and then Genos is saying, what was that? That's a really old game. But I'm saying, don't threaten us with a reboot, please. We've had enough of the bad reboots to last a lifetime. EOFS is as good as it gets. What's that one? That's Empire of the Fading Suns. Yeah, so isn't it Emperor of the Fading Suns? Yeah, anyway, it was listed up above, especially since the last update. So Diamond is saying Genesis is very old 4X PC game based on the pen and paper RPG. So you're just saying to Silvercall, it may be, but in my opinion, when games has more possibilities for players to tinker things, it's always better. Restrictions usually are for the purpose of the AI, so it can follow the player. You know, it's sort of funny. There was another game that came out, and I couldn't play it because it had no limitations, and I can't think of what it was. It was another space 4X game. But I love the idea of the game, except for the lack of limitations. And it was so it'd be interesting. I wish I could think of what the game actually was. It was Star something or other. I'll have it in my Steam library. I'll just open up Steam for a second. Now, if I just go back into the actual library itself, and look for under S. Which one was it? Star Ruler, I think. I think Star Ruler was this one. You like? I think it was Star Ruler, where you could do anything that you liked in it. Like you could build the biggest ship, and they sort of sold it on the fact that it was, or it might have been Star Drive, one of the Star Drives or Star Ruler. I can't remember which one it was, but they basically, one of its selling points was that you can build as big as you like. It's something massive, and I just thinking, where's the fun in that? Like it's so that's where I think that's where these sorts of games do do appeal to different audiences, and that's all fine. So this one came out a little while ago. I don't know if it shows this. I don't know if it was the first one that they sort of just went to town with it. I think it was like they had it as a selling point that you could just build whatever you want. Yeah, I'm not seeing it there. That's okay. That one's not showing it. Maybe it was the other one. Star Ruler. This one was very positive, 81%. But does this one actually have it where it sort of talks about yeah, running on an additionally developed Staff Ranger is made full use of. No, that's not it. No, I'm not sure actually. I can't remember. I think it's one of these two games, but they did actually feature the fact that you could build something the size of planets, and it's just, for me, that just removes the immersion. So yeah, I really like just what Distant Worlds 2 has got, where you have to really think, do I put an extra fuel cell in, or do I put something different in to try to then sort of get the most out of a particular design? And then when you come up against an enemy, does that then mean that what you've actually built is no longer as effective? So you go back and retrofit the fleets to contend with a different class of ship. Distant Worlds 1 didn't really have much of that, and Distant Worlds 2 does. So if you want it to. Anyway, I can't think of which one that actually is. I'll just go back through. I'll just skim past a lot of these. We'll just go back up to where we were. Sorry, guys. Star Ruler 2, I think you mean. Yeah, okay. It was where basically they didn't give a shit about the scale and just thought, the bigger the better, and everyone's going to love building these massive things. And but it was overwhelming. I don't think I've played it. I've got 2 hours on this one, and then that was enough for me there. I think both those games were the games that I just really didn't get into. Commander Greatos is saying, yeah, good old Star Drive 2, I remember that one. It's funny because it had some really, really good mechanics in the way that the actual empires were built, I think. It was very, very well done in so many ways, except for the lack of limitations. If this is the game, I can't remember if this is the game or not. It may not be the game. Actually, that does look a little bit like it. But it really had a really, really nice way of building the games up, but it just no limitations whatsoever. Diamond's saying more DACA, please. Yeah, there we go. So I'm saying, yeah, Star Ruler and Star Ruler 2 had infinite scaling in ships and maps. Yeah, which I really just hated it in the end. You can make maps that fry your computer. Yep. So Star Ruler 1 allowed for unlimited ship size. Said Eddie Ball game. There we go. It must be that one then. But just go back out to the library again. So that was was it Star Drive? Or is that what you said? Star Ruler 1. I don't actually have Star Ruler 1 installed. Just go to the store page of the original Star Drive. This one was mixed. I think this was abandoned. But one of these also had like just where you could build it whatever size you wanted, which I just don't find fun personally. But again, each to their own. Okay, you're just saying Distant Worlds Universe ship limitations come from basic things like max ship size, power range, etc. In Distant Worlds 2 you have the same, but it's additionally limits your choices to number of weapons and defense systems. Again, I do like that. Okay, let's explore this because, for example, if you play as a Boscara, you have less in the general slots that you can use, but more in the armor or the weaponry. So you actually end up with a dumber ship in terms of the support aspect of it, which for me is thematic. Whereas if you're playing as one of the more high tech races, they have more slots generally in the general area, and so when you compare, for example, a frigate with a frigate, you end up with very, very different designs, and which makes each faction play uniquely. Whereas in Distant Worlds Universe, the only real differentiation was in the actual types of equipment that you get your hands on. So I think for me, I much prefer those limitations in Distant Worlds 2 because they promote the feel of the actual faction. For me, it's just awesome. Like I think it really sold it to me when I was playing as the Actarians, where they were the only ones that could really make good use in the early, like with the original 7, of getting early starfighters into what they were doing, and that was such an interesting way to play as them. Like every single faction feels much more immersive in Distant Worlds 2 than in Distant Worlds Universe because of those sorts of changes. So yeah, I'll still argue that for me is a much, much better way to go. Okay, so what did I get up to with this? So Eddie Ballgame saying you played Star Ruler 2 as well. Can't remember if that one allowed it. Yeah, I can't remember. I think that one of them was just crazy with what they allowed, and for me it just killed the game. Hi Victor, how you going? And so Battleman's saying Star Ruler 2 is free now. Very good game in my opinion. Yeah, I couldn't get into those games. I think because of the open scale. Commander Grados is saying I might test now as far as this game scale in a newer hardware. Hi Andros, how you going? And Silbergos saying, didn't the Star Drive dev retire and release the source code? Yeah, well, it sounds like that may be what happened. Or is the Star Drive or Star Ruler? One of them was a lawyer, I think, who was actually the developer of it, but he then chopped and changed a bit. I don't know which one it was. You're just saying I understand choice developers make with Distant Worlds 2. I don't say it's bad. I think Distant Worlds Universe version was better in that aspect, though. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see where Distant Worlds 2 ends up. Like by the time it does get to the Universe phase of its development. Remember, there was about 4 different iterations of Distant Worlds by the time we got to Universe. Okay, so Eddie Ballgame saying Star Ruler, not Star Ruler 1, sorry, is still on Steam. There we go. Gary's saying, which portrait style do you like the most in the poll on VR designs? I haven't seen that, actually. Maybe we'll have a look at that, because there has been some changes there as well. Actually, we'll come back to these games, so we'll have a look at Shadow Empire. The other big one that's come out, of course, is Starfield. That's just actually hit this week. Now, this one, I don't know what the rating is. I would guess that this is rated in the high 80%, I would assume. So I'm just going to have a bit of a guess. Before we go there, guys, just put where you think put your score. There's no prize for this, but just put where you think the actual rating for Starfield actually is. Actually, no, it hasn't been released yet, has it? No, it won't be. It won't actually be there. It won't have a rating. Yeah, no user reviews. Forget that. We'll do it next week. Actually, I won't be around next week, so next week I won't be here.
Has always hunted for
just pause this one. So Andros is saying Starfield got panned by Worth a Buy. Really? I can't believe that. Andros is saying, I need to upgrade my PC for the biggest map in Distant Worlds 2. I like that it does warn you as to where the maps will end up going. So Vidudog's saying 70% max. Yeah, I think I'm with Quiet Sprints there. 87 is about where I think it will end up. And Gary Oak's saying mixed, or Phobius is saying 60%, 70% for Drexy. It's early access. Commander Grados is saying, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I'm really enjoying it. I've got to say, I think it's exceptional. I wasn't going to play it. I don't actually have an SSD drive, and you do, like an SSD drive would make it really exceptional. So taking apart the fact that it's got to load in a lot of content as you're playing, and there is a lot of content you do have to load in, I actually really am enjoying it a lot. I don't know if, when does it come out? The 6th? That's tomorrow. So, but I think it's, I've only played it for like a couple of hours, but I've really have enjoyed it an enormous amount. I've got to do a video on it, but I just haven't really played enough of it. So this is but just the visuals of it, the even the story seems fairly engaging. It does sort of seem good. But I'm saying his videos on why it's bad is really good. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I haven't seen that one. So Bannerman's saying, yeah, Mac called it a loading screen simulator. I'm not sure who Mac is. And Sorbicle's saying Starfield is very polished, but No Man's Skyrim describes it really quite well. There we go. Yeah, it's sort of like there is a procedural aspect you can play, which is probably what I'll end up doing a recording on. Probably trying to get that one recorded today, I think, because if it's coming out tomorrow. But everyone's doing content on Starfield. So I probably won't cover it very much. It's not really my type of game, but I am impressed with what I've seen. The modelling in it is, for everything in it, is just beautiful. Like, it really is amazing. So, so Quiet Sprint is saying, if you pay $100 for early access, you won't give it a high rating. I'm biased there. There we go. Commander Grados is saying SSD is mandatory for Starfield. I wouldn't even recommend it to use I'm not sure what NVMe SSD. It's that important. It actually is. I find that when I'm playing the game, it does load the levels in, which is fine. So I can actually play a portion of a level. But when I go through a door into another level, I then got to sit around for a few seconds and wait for that to load in. Also, some of the chat, some of the actual dialogue in the game, the actual voice acting, is loaded off your computer at the time. So a little bit of that will be missed, and then it will catch up with itself. So it's a little bit off with everything. Hi, Viren Games, how you going? But Burbo saying WAB as being deliberately controversial in the for views. Shocker. And Chandra is saying people get criticised. AAA ambitious game. Cyberpunk is a good example of it. It's objectively an amazing video game, but still a lot of passionate reviews crapping on it. And so Jenna is saying, really, Daz, I think character models look awful. I know that there's talk about some of the stuff that's happened, but I found it really amazing. Like the actual models of the characters that you talk with are very good. The NPCs that you sort of have around the place are average, but then, again, you're trying to sort of save, computer grunt space, but there's a lot of them, depending on wherever you might be. I think it's done very, very well. Like it's and as I say, the amount of detail in no matter where you are, it's just so much clutter and stuff actually in every environment. It really is astoundingly good, in my opinion, just in that sort of aspect. If you like Skyrim type games, you're going to love this game. I think it's I think it's going to be in the high 80s ultimately. I think it's going to be an Insta classic. This one. It's I found it very, very stable. I had no problems with it. Their eyes just look so crazy. I think that's cherry picking by certain people. I've actually found them to be there's a lot you can do with the personalization. Even the personalization. I'll see if hopefully it won't take too long to start up. But the personalization in it is pretty amazing. Actually, where I am now, I'm in the middle of a city, so I'll have a look and see. Actually, I've got to get my graphic drivers up to date. But I've been really impressed with it, and it's much better than I thought it would be. It's just that loading in from the SSD drive is slow. Here we go. Hugh David saying 88% for Starfield. I think that's where it'll be, in my opinion. It's just too good not to be. I'll just continue where I am. Confirm. This will be. We'll be able to look at the people here because I'm in the middle of the main location. Batman saying worth the buy isn't being controversial for clicks. His review is very specific about why the game is really an RPG, isn't really an RPG, more of a looter shooter, lacks immersion. Commander Grados is saying, unfortunately, the price of these has decreased since the last gen. Unfortunately, the price of the SSDs has dropped. Got mad at Bethesda for creating Elder Scrolls Online. Not interested in Bethesda games since then. And Jeminson's saying the thing with Starfield, I feel, is that it is not top-notch graphically speaking, but Bethesda built a really immersive world and basically lets you do whatever. 35 hours in and only 5 main quests done. Yeah, I think it's I'm looking forward to seeing what it does do. I'll just let it keep on loading. It does take I don't have an SSD drive for my games. I have it for my recordings, but not for my games. I sort of felt the videos were more important than the actual game loading. So, and Battle Mode saying, I think Skyrim with I did enjoy Skyrim with mods, and I think Starfield will be the same. It's just like I wanted to talk a bit. I've got a few games I wanted to actually cover today, and one of them is the latest patch for Kerbal Space Program, and that's another good-looking game. But this one, just the detail in this one is so much more immersive and so much better looking. I'll just let it load in. I want a fridge that will play Starfield, says Diamond. Yes. What did I get up to? So Quiet Sprints is in saying, let's guess how many versions of Starfield will be released over the next 10 years. Skyrim was 5 versions, wasn't it? I'm not sure. I didn't play Skyrim, actually. I just didn't get into it. You see how the music is dropping out? And that's what happens with the sound as it's trying to load in off just a normal hard drive. But yeah, I think the SSD, I did notice that, and I wasn't going to cover it because I don't actually have an SSD for games. I guess I could have actually installed it on my SSD drive. So this is like one of the actual characters. So
another space explorer. Hey, you ever think of joining up with the Vanguard?
This one, unfortunately, is the guy that we're just talking to. This is just a secretary type guy. I think that's pretty damn good, guys. I've got to say, that's a pretty maybe later.
All right.
Sorry, I'm just.
It's a game we play.
Her eyes. Yeah, this one I'll give you is a little bit janky.
What I got for you two. Vanguard ball.
The source.
I'll just skip through all these. I think he looks very good. Where are we? Sorry, this is all part of storyline stuff.
Hey, nothing wrong. Anything for Sarah.
There we go.
No, brother.
I'm serious.
Come on, let me out of this. So
doesn't get a lot of traffic.
So I think it's acceptable. Like I don't think that's a problem. Here's a guy that isn't someone that's important. Again, I've seen video content of people who have had like a weirdness. Let's go out and have a look at some of these other people. Try to find the weird people. I think that people have been walking around looking for randomly generated people. Yeah, that's the people that people are concerned about with those big wide eyes. Get someone in the sun and check them out. But they're not people that you interact with. And you got weird eyes as well. He's not too bad. She's not too bad. He's a bit weird. A bit of a zombie. Actually, yeah, there are a few zombies in here. Still, for what it is, though, this is not terrible. They all look fine. I mean, the haircuts maybe not, but anyway. Yeah, she's just following me around. But it's massive, you know, like the... She looks pretty strange. It's like... what's that thing where they point at you and scream? I forget what that movie is. Not the Day of the Triffids. They all want to look at us, don't they? He doesn't look bad. Like, so it's just... these are randomly generated, so... It's pretty astounding, really, with the scope of what it actually is. You know, it's... yeah, okay, that's a weird one. That was good, but you could rate. You could sit here. You could sit here at the train station and just rate people as they walk past, with what they're doing. Yeah, a bit weird, But overall, I think it's actually pretty well done. So what did we get up to? anyway, I'll quit out of this because, but I'm finding it. The game is just like there's so much detail in it. It is astoundingly good. Just confirm that one. And we'll quit out. And confirm. Quit the desktop. Yes. So we'll get out of there. The eyes are so dead. I played BG3 and they seem so much better. Yeah, look, it's. I think that the people that you interact with look fine. It's just those NPCs that are just walking around the place. Maybe. Sorry guys, I missed a lot of the comments here again. I'll just let it quit out. I can't even get my. There we go. I'll just go back out and get up to where I got to going. Hi Lucia, how you going? Where do we get up to? I'll just skim past a lot of these. Sorry, guys. Just so we can catch up. Drex is saying I was going to get the Game Pass to play this, but from what I've heard, it's pretty limited and quiet on the rails. I see Larry, so Larry's heading off, going off for maintenance on the bike. This is saying the eyes are dead. So they are dead for the NPCs, but I do think that the actual people that you interact with, they do interact well. I think they do anyway. So Guy Bellamy's saying Starfield looks okay, but it's not Marble Run. There we go. Yeah, that's true. That is very, very true. The scale and detail of the spaceships when you walk around them is done really, really well too. Yeah, that's very true. I won't go into the spaceships, but that is just mind-blowingly detailed. When you have a look at that compared to, for example, as I said before, Kerbal Space Program. Kerbal Space Program is good, but it's got so many problems still. I will talk a little bit about Kerbal because that's a game I'm really looking forward to. So Ulrich is then saying, Daz, what CPU and graphics card have you got? If I do it in here, does that one give me the... If I go to the device manager, is that the best way to do this? Or computer management? Probably device manager, wouldn't it be? Or system, actually. Just go back to system. That will give me the summary of what my system actually is, I think. So, I've got an i9. So my processor is pretty high. The installed RAM, I've got 64 gigabytes of RAM, so I've got heaps of RAM, like heaps of it. Now, as far as the graphics is concerned, if I go to display drivers, is it going to show me what this one is? No, I've got an AMD. I've only just brought that one across. If we go back to the device, I don't hardly ever look at this. Device manager. Display adapters. So I'm using an AMD Radeon 6700. So this is reasonably old now. But I've only just got it, but it's like it does do a good job, but it's not top of the line in terms of graphics. It's sort of probably middle of the road, I would guess now. Yeah, Body Snatchers. That's the one. Body Snatchers. They look like Body Snatcher people. So I've got high RAM. i9, so reasonably fast actual processor, but I am using, for my hard drives, I am using the, I've got SSD for my C drive and an SSD for my videos, but I'm just using a normal hard drive for where my games are. So I didn't bother I wanted to have like a high terabyte usage, which wasn't going to cost me a hell of a lot for my games and stuff. Okay, so just read a few more of these. Yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. So that's exactly the one. Hi Reed, how you going? So my humble opinion, Fallout 4 and Starfield, they're just skins for Skyrim. It's got a lot of content. Like Starfield, you can do a lot in it. Isnar saying it's the uncanny valley. They look human, but something off about them. Yes. But I was saying, so long as you're enjoying it, Daz, I might check it out on sale later. It's not a game I'm going to really play much, to be honest. Like, I'll probably get rid of it off my hard drive at some point because it's just so damn big. Like 125 gigabytes is monstrously large. But I'm saying I've banned myself from buying new games until I get bored of Elwinter stuff and Galciv 4. Yeah, that's true. There's so many good games around at the moment. Lucy's saying Starfield review 7 out of 10. Where are the marbles? And Andros Garrus is saying Dominion 6 is in development. Yes, so we'll look at that. We won't look at that every week because we're not going to get much information for a fair few more months. Probably sort of as we hit towards late October, early November, we might have a look at Dominions again. A lot of the winter games tend to come out in November, so that will be probably when we start to have a close look at what they're doing. Bivargas is saying there's so many games out there, I need to go for a self-imposed ban for a while and catch up on some backlog. Yeah, it's sort of one of those things, isn't it? And Vidadog's saying that the number after that I9 is more important to determine the actual performance. Oh, okay. So the actual, I forget what it was, whatever it was. So Michael's then saying, I don't think my old fighter laptop can chew the game. May have a look at a few more streams of it. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I know that the requirements are pretty high up there, and the one thing I really didn't have was the SSD, and I did notice that. So when I was actually playing it, I was thinking, yep, that's the SSD. So I'm definitely not going to slam the game because of my slow loads between scenes. Sorbical saying this has been exceptional for games across the board. Yes, I agree. Last few years, actually. Michael's saying, Daz, will there be a Daz Demption on Xenonauts 2 when the game is complete? Yeah, absolutely, there will be. On Twitch. I will be playing on Twitch tomorrow, and I'm actually away for a week. My dad's in aged care, and I've got a lot of stuff I've got to sort out with him, and he's in another state. So I'll be travelling just to deal with all that, which is not a lot of fun, to be honest. It's I'm really not looking forward to having to sort of go through, like we cleared out his house 6 months ago to get him into aged care, but now we've got all this stuff in storage. So now my sister and I have to go through all of his junk basically, and just figure out what we need to keep and what we don't, and so we can get rid of these storage. Storage is so expensive here in Australia. It's just crazy amounts. It's almost the same amount as rent, like for a cheap apartment or storage, one of the two. It's costs a hell of a lot. Right, let's have a look at Shadow Empire, because that has recently had a lot of changes done to it. And there was a question. What was the question before about that one? I forget what that one was. Actually, I might have a quick look at Kerbal Space Program 2. This one as well keeps on getting patched, but not enough. There's so many bugs in Kerbal Space Program 2. There was a bug using AMD drivers, which has apparently just been fixed. I haven't had a look at it since this one has actually been updated. Oh, that's right, the poll. Yeah, Gorix. Have you seen the Shadow Empire style poll on the stream yet? No, we haven't. We'll do that in just a minute. I'll just go and play this one. But this is the patch notes. Hang on, we'll have a quick look at this. It looks impressive when you sort of scroll through what they've done, but all the really important things, like there's no re-entry problems with it. You don't need to put any sort of heat shields on the systems yet. There's just so much missing from this game. I really can't believe they released it in the state that they did, and it's just the patching is just so it really just isn't. Like it's taken so long for them to the game isn't. I would say the game is not really playable yet, and which is such a shame. It's been out for months and months and months, and hardly any real development done. Like, I mean, it is getting developed, but it shouldn't have been released. Even for early access, it should not have been released in that state. See you later, Diamond. Looks like you're heading off. But I'm saying you'd think that for that space in Australia would be cheap, but I'm about to go on holidays there, and boy, it's expensive. It is very expensive. Can't you just leave it in the outback, says Sorbicol? Yeah, probably. It's funny, like, I mean, I won't mention it. It's okay. I shouldn't be talking about family stuff on streams. It's just I was going to talk about the outback, but anyway, it's just funny. Have you seen the Shadow? Yeah, the poll. We will have a look at that one through there. I've done that one up through there. B Vargas is saying I have a PS5 as well as my PC, which is getting on a bit. And I recently got a game called Remnant 2, which I'm very impressed with. It's hard though, and some really good procedural design for worlds. Okay, yeah, I haven't even heard of that one. So Gorix is saying I haven't missed it then. So we'll do that one now actually. Problem is I want to live in the areas with space, says Paul. Problem is no one wants to live in the areas with space. I actually came from the outback. That's where I grew up. I love it. I love the open space. And so I really enjoy it. But I also like the beach as well now. So it's sort of one of those things. I could happily live. I used to tell my wife when you drive inland through Australia, like there's big flat open areas, but there's you come across little areas where there might be a creek or something that's really quite nice, or a little outcrop of mountains that you might sort of come nearby. And there's one place that I absolutely loved, and I always told my wife that if I ever ran away from home, this is where I'd end up coming to. And I'd run away to this particular little town in the middle of nowhere. But it's I don't know, I do like the outback. But it's sort of funny because when I've worked in the outback as well, and a lot of people who haven't come from the outback really don't get used to it. But I do like it out there. Okay, so Paul is saying problem with you want no one to live in there, and Batman is saying leave it in the outback, it'll get eaten by a drop bear or killed by a stingray or something. Yes. All right, so what we'll do is we'll go across to the Shadow Empire information. I'm guessing that is the poll on the Matrix forum. Is that where the poll actually is? Might as well have a look at that one. Shadow Empire. Now it's up to version P with the open beta patch, which I'll just get another page open for that one through there. And there's announcements. Not seeing where the poll actually is. Gorix is saying is the poll on the VR website? Maybe it is. VRdesigns.net. That would make sense, actually. Here we go. Portrait style poll. Here we go. So we've got different things. I've got a few weeks, and I'm fine-tuning the latest and rather enormous balance difficulty changes of the open beta. So right now I'm picking up the new portrait graphics where I left them before the summer holidays, before I start work again. So it might be actually a good idea to touch base with the community. The question is which graphical style the players, yes, you prefer. Feel free to point me to other style options in the Matrix Team discussion forums. Okay, so we've got 5 styles to choose from, and yes, A and E and B and C have similarities. Style D is the current Shadow Empire style. Interesting. I mean, definitely they're all better than D. I think I like these cartoon ones. But I'm saying he's voting D. But I'm not going to look at what you guys say, but I'm going to, what would I go for? I think I like B. Just because the game is graphic. I'm thinking, because I've tried modding, I've had a look at how the faces are put together. I can see this one being very clunky when it's put together, and same with this one here. So, and these look like they're AI generated, particularly that one there. I think I much prefer these, just looking at them. I'm going to go B. Yep, so I'll just vote, see what should give us numbers, hopefully. There we go. Style A, I think it's style A. That actual image looks good, but I just think that in the way that the game mods these things in, or uses the graphics to do it, I think that will end up with problems. I think that will look clunky ultimately. B has come in there with second anyway, 43 votes. So looks like the A style will probably end up winning. Let's have a look and see what you guys are saying. So Ben was saying D, but I don't think it's true. Paul's saying A for me. Yep, there. B is great, says Viren Games. Yeah, B for me looks really good. B for me works best with the game, and also for modding. Gorix is saying voted C. Yeah, voted C. C or B, I think look good. I would be happy with either one of those. But I'm saying I think I prefer B and C. Yep, C for Bubo. There we go. Rogue is saying A for me. Don't like the cartoon look. Battleman's saying he's going to have to put them all in to please everyone. Poor Vic. Drake is saying excellent choice, and saying I think B would be best with the Primus Stratagem Pack. Yeah, that's true as well, especially if the colour goes one shade darker. Didn't Primus start working on a group anyway? I think he actually had a mod that he was working on. I was going to make a mod as well at one point, and then I just looked at it and thought, it's going to be a bit too much work. It's not terrible with the graphics for it, but it's up there. Like there's a bit you have to then go and do with it. So Bivar saying, D looks like that one kid in your class back in school. You didn't think it was tough, it wasn't. Yes, I know what you mean. It's funny. When I was at school, which is a long time ago now, but there was you get away with a lot more at school, and they had this wrestling show that was on every in Australia. They had like this wrestling thing where people it was a fake fighting type thing, but it was funny because some of the kids thought that was how you actually did fight, and it was so it was interesting when they'd be coming in with all these moves that are designed not to hurt anybody. So, yeah, and it was just funny watching them, because the rest of us we'd be thinking, oh yeah, we know what's going on here. And then anyway, again, I won't incriminate myself with my school days. But what else have we got? We've got I voted B, says Drexy. Yeah, I think B for me. I think that would suit the game. But I'm saying I couldn't possibly make enough for the whole game using stable diffusion in about 1 hour. But I think Vic has been careful about AI stuff so far. I think that what it comes down to is it's basically ping files where they actually have, like, just the eyes, for example, will be pings. In this one here, they can actually really manufacture what they need to do. Whereas with the with this one here, they're going to run into troubles. You can you can clearly see where the shape changes between the cheeks and the eyes. So that eye area is definitely, like, that's part of the actual pack to construct this particular face. A looks like EVE Online, says Drexy. But I'm saying I'd love to see Primus finish his. Yeah, that would be interesting to see that one. Vita Dog saying you can do 200 portraits like that per hour nowadays. It really is manageable. Yeah, and you've always been a bully, Daz. It's sort of funny because it's sort of not a bully, but just I was always the biggest kid, one of the biggest kids. So I've never been in a fight in my whole life because I've never really had to, because I've just been bigger than everyone else. So I was able to sort of just push and pull people into wherever I needed them to be. But I'm saying I'd use the AI to do that one, get the best results with zero cost. And B. Vargas is saying used to be the 16-bit gaming era when I was at high school. Battlemate saying whatever the cost of my graphics card running for an hour. And people were saying, I think I saw D on Chrome Watch UK robbed the bank, apparently. Yeah, that's very true. There we go. Anyway, so we've done that one there. What's this one here? The development poll back from August. This is actually old now, isn't it? Anyway, that's interesting. He's got other polls there. So there's Primus's art pack. I think Primus is now starting to use AI, from what I read somewhere. So he's using AI to start the process and then finishes it off with. But these look great, don't they? It really looks good. So looks very, very good. Yeah, I really like the look of these. So I'm thinking he's using AI just to get started with some of these and then sort of finishing them off with graphics. It's a very nice style, that one. Anyway, that's the VR design. So we've done our vote. We've done our bit. We'll have a quick look at back in here, the open beta. Actually, I'll just get rid of that one. Oops. Okay, so a lot of changes have come in the last couple of days. So changes for P. So this one here, there's a lot listed in here, but not a lot of stuff that actually does impact. But what it does impact is fairly strong. There's been rebalancing of ammo stocks. There is, where is it? The artifacts is now going to be very, very different. There's been a big rebalance of the cost of things, and how often you're going to be able to find different sorts of things. For example, the wasp finds that you will get will go from rare to common, so you get a lot more of them on your units when you start to get artifacts. Others have gone the other way. So grav shields have gone from common to rare. Hex perks as well. So these have actually now, the energy from a lot of these hex perks has now been halved. I think this is a good idea. It's sort of you would end up with one of these sorts of energy hex perks in the game, and it would basically set you up for most of the game just by having one of them. And so by reducing what they do, I'm glad that he's come back and had another critical look at everything, which actually does make a lot of sense. Yeah, the cost of fate stratagems as well. So the fate point costs have gone right down with a lot of these, which is good as well, because there was a lot of these you just never ever would use because of how costly they actually were. We've got the change list back in through here with O as well, so this is actually just fairly recent as well. Yeah, what else have we got in here? Yeah, so this is, again, there's been so many changes just in recent weeks. It's funny because I think that it looks like there's more changes in P, but I think that without reading through the whole thing, I think there's been even more changes in here in terms of what's been added to the game. Things like the non-mechanized quad machine guns has a reduced soft attack, whereas the mechanized has actually now got a different way of firing as well. That's interesting. I'm looking forward to playing with those because they were very, very effective before this particular patch. So I think that's been balanced backwards a little bit. Yeah. So anyway, it's just the game is just getting better and better. Better and better. Less water now, so the water is becoming something where you don't just automatically get free water all the time. Okay, so Rogue is saying, yeah, I always found the energy perks and never really needed any until close to the end game. Yeah, absolutely. So now that really has changed. Well, anyway, guys, I think what we might do is we might now move across. I don't think there's anything else. I'll just go back to my notes and just see if there's anything else I needed to cover. I did want to talk about I'm going to be away next week, and Slytherin has got like a Home of Wargamers event, and it's going to be featuring a lot of the Matrix games. So that's coming up on the 12th. So that's a week and actually it's exactly a week away, isn't it? The 12th. Actually, it's the 5th for me, but it's the 4th for you guys, I think. Yeah, so a bit more over a week. So I won't be around. Otherwise, next week I would actually talk in detail about it. I don't know if there's detail on that. I'll have a quick look at the Slytherin page. Slytherin.com. Just see if there's an announcement on that one yet. But that is coming. Recent news. It doesn't look like it's there yet. So that's actually so they haven't actually. So that's a bit of a scoop. That will be coming on the 12th. Yeah. So I'm not actually seeing that one. Anyway, that's so look out for that one. I won't be around next week, so I won't be able to talk about that one. But there should be specials, I would guess, coming along with that one as well. And all of the main battle type games will then be sort of covered in that particular session. I was, as I say, going to cover it if I was around, but I'm not around. So I'll just mention it now. So that one is coming. It's just read a few more of the comments. Tenor is saying I used the Sentinel VidCom art pack. So Ocean update from the Matrix forum, it looks great. Adds a lot of immersion to the games. I don't know that one actually. And Rogue is saying, I hope you put some options into selecting how many hex perks and other GR type things you want on the map. I think Rogue is saying, what, you can't take the vacations. It's not a vacation. It's unfortunately I have to go down and do it. Like, it's one of those things where I'm really not looking forward to going down and sorting through, boxes and boxes of stuff that we then have to throw away. But anyway, that's the way it goes. Needs a break from the beach, yes. I'm looking forward to catching up with family, to be honest. So that will be good. I've got it's funny because my whole family plays games, like whether they be board games or computer games, and so it's sort of been really quite good fun. Like just the there we go. That's the same sort of style that we're looking at for that works for Shadow Empire. But yeah, it's just so there's gonna be a lot of board games being played, I think, which will be fun. So I'm looking forward to that. But because I don't know any other group of people that actually play as many board games as my like family, like all my nephews and so on and so forth. Everyone just plays these games all the time, which is fun. So it must be genetic, I guess. Right, my other things that I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about Shadow Empire. We've done that one. Against the Storm is another one. We'll just finish off with that one there. Actually, I've got a couple of other little things. We've got Symphony of War has released a DLC, or is releasing a DLC. We'll just have a quick look at this one here. Now, this has just come out. Now, I've tried to contact the publisher and the developer. I just can't get in contact with them, so I'm not going to be able to cover it, but I did want to mention that it was there. I don't know what it's like. I'm hoping that they can do more procedural generation with Symphony of War. It's a really cool game, but I do want to get back into it when they actually have more random type maps, and I don't know if the Legends DLC does that, but that has come out recently. But as I say, I just can't get hold of the developer, so I can't actually ask the questions about it. But I thought I'd mention it. Other ones we want to have a quick look at is Against the Storm. This has got a lot more changes coming to it. Now, will it do it? Yeah, this is overwhelmingly positive. This is 95%. This is an incredible game. But there is more stuff coming. Still early access, but there is a new big patch coming. Forest Update has come on the 1st of September. So it's come out this week. It's time to venture into the Sealed Forest, a mysterious and hostile biome. So this is actually where... Again, there's more and more things coming to it. So if you've got Against a Storm, probably worth having a look at that one now. It's got a new biome, new mechanics. I think we spoke about this one last week, just to be aware that it is actually coming. So we've got Sealed Forest biomes with seal reforging mechanic, plagues, beacon tower building, and 12 new music tracks. So there's a bit of content that had come for that one, and there's more on the way as well for that one. So they've got a lot of big plans coming for Against the Storm. Now, what else should we have a look at? I've got Gal Civ as well. Gal Civ has just Galactic Civilizations 4. Now, this one they've just released version 1.72 of the sort of opt-in beta patch for it. So there's nothing much. There's no big news on that one yet. So when I get back, hopefully there'll be some other releases that have then come through. But I've been having a lot of fun with this one. Like, it really is by far the best Gal Civ game that I've played. Really, really enjoying it a lot. And but yeah, I'm not seeing any of the actual news there. Where it's actually, I know that they just released. Well, that's the whole thing. That's not what I wanted. I know that they have actually released if I go to Community Hub, maybe we can see it then through here. But again, even the small iterations actually are fairly good. Yeah, no, they haven't put the information up. I don't think with the new one sort of coming through there. Anyway, that's certainly on the move as well. Now, there was also talk about a DLC right at the very, very start of this session. So we'll go and have a look at the at ISG. Space Genesis, another great game. You can see very positive, 82%. Does this have DLC coming? Now, it's got the... not that it's showing in through there. Okay, this was back from March. This is old news. I'm sure that they will. But where is the information? Just have a quick look in the discussions. This is old news. Yeah, so no, I can't confirm what's happening with that one. So let's move on. I'll just go back across and have a last quick look in the library in here. Distant Worlds 2, so the new update. Yeah, the Discovery update, massive changes again with that one as well. A lot of quality of life type things actually happening. Sorry guys, I'm just going to get my other screen back to where it was. Any board games saying family is everything. Yes, I agree with you. Soroga saying, trust me, I play a ton of board games, war games too. Yes, it's funny. Like my wife loves board games as well, but she doesn't like certain games. She really just can't get her head around. And it was we were playing last time I was with all the family back where I'm going to is we were playing what's it called, Secret Hitler, and that was really good fun to play with a large group of people. But my wife was trying to be so canny that she was when she was not Hitler, and she was trying to make it so that she could progress. But she ended up screwing up the whole game, and so I forget what my nephew called her something. I forget what it was now, but anyway, something from that particular game. It was just, but it was Anyway, it's not really funny unless you were there, I guess. But it was just funny how she didn't really grasp that she had to make some strategic decisions when she had to make them, and so it didn't go well for that particular game that she was involved in. Hi David, how are you going? So reading a few more of the things in through there. So Serenity is saying, I envy families like that. My family never cared about games. There's a lot that don't. Like even we've tried playing board games with our friends. Like just get them over and play some board games. But so many people just aren't into them. It's really quite funny. So Jorix is saying a board game live stream. I don't think so. Drexy saying got to go, Mr. Marbles. I'll put you in the list there, Drexy. So don't worry, I'll add you in. Hi David again, and then Jenna is saying we'll put you in, Drexy. There we go. And Battle Mode saying yep, laters. So David is then saying I'm loving Ozymandias these days. That actually got a patch this week. I don't know if it'll show up in here. Let's just see if it's actually because I think they had a fairly big patch. Where is it? No, it's not up there. I did notice that had come through, because that's very much like a board game. Ozymandias. And so that had August 29th, so a week ago. Our 6th DLC map takes you to lofty peaks of the Andes and beyond. Is that DLC? Let's go to the store page for a second. So it's very, very positive with this one in through here. So 91% like this game. It's very, very pure. This is so close to being just a board game. It's unbelievable. There is a heap of content in here. I didn't even realise they actually had all this DLC. So I haven't actually been really following that part of it at all. So okay, that's the only thing I would have seen there. I thought there was like a big update that had come through during the week, but maybe not. So Geno's is saying, come back and watch the end of the live stream. Yeah, there we go. Lord just is saying, things out of context. My wife, try not to look at this. Look at Hitler. It was, I forget what it was, but anyway, she was playing as one of the Jewish people in it. And I think my nephew called her Secret Jew, because she was playing so sneakily with it that she ended up not doing the votes that she needed to do to sort of, to get the game won. It was just funny. Rogue is saying you're going to have to check that game out. Ozymandias is a good game, very, very good game. So it is actually really quite nice the way it does play out. Let's just go back into the library again. I don't think there's much else in here. Yeah, there's the Legends DLC. I really, really want to try that, but I just can't get a hold of them. Just can't get hold of the devs on that one. And I was trying to think of how I actually got that one in particular, because normally I've got like a contact. Once I get a contact with a company, I can then follow it up. But I didn't actually get that one through normal channels. I got that one through an event actually. That's they're just hard to get, and that happens a lot. Dune Spice Wars is getting ready to release, and I will be doing some more content on this one. This game has improved out of sight. Just in recent times as well. So version 1 drops this September, and When I get back, I'm going to start recording some content for this one over a year and a half in early access, the following countless incredible feedback and support. They've actually got 3 ways of playing the game now as well. If you haven't actually looked at Dune Spice Wars for a long time, there's a lot going on with this one. If you go to the actual store page, very positive in through here again as well. So 81% in through them. It's saying most recently 70%, but it really is an incredible game. And so it's now got 3 different ways of playing, which again are really, really quite interesting. With the I've been playing a little bit this week, just to have a bit of a look to see, because it is getting close now to launch. I think I still, this one here, they've got a new house that's come in. So House Ikaz. So this is the Archduchess. So they've just got new content sort of coming back in as well. Not sure if that's in the game yet. Didn't notice it. If I just have a quick look. Just minimise that for a second. That will be down in here somewhere. Have a quick look. Yeah, Northgard was brilliant. So I know they polished Dune up too. Yeah, absolutely. Like they do a really good job. Shiro Games. They've got. I also I've also got War Tales now as well, which I didn't have before. I wanted to try that because people have been saying that's very much like Battle Brothers, but I haven't played any of that just yet. So we have, if we go to single player as an example. You now actually have 3 different modes of playing, like a conquest, which is a long-lasting campaign, but it isolates it down into smaller sections. So that one looks really, really interesting. That's the original one that the game had launched with. So a medium game with up to 4 factions, battling and scheming for the control of the northern hemisphere of Arrakis, or Canley Duel, which is like a smaller version of the game. So it's just two factions basically fighting it out for a smaller map, essentially, which is then sort of built in through this one. So if we go to and have a quick look at conquest mode. Yep, you recently played Conquest. Do you want to load it? No. So it doesn't have the new faction there. I wanted to just see if that was the case. So you actually don't have the new one that way. Battle for Arrakis. No, okay. The other one is still coming in that case. So that new faction is not in just yet. So you can only sort of play as the traditional factions in this particular mode. So that just the 3, like House Atreides, Harkonnen, or Carino, like the Emperor, the Emperor's faction. So again, it's a very, very cool game, the way it sort of does work. So looking forward to playing some more of that. So that will be sort of coming with more of that in there. So David's saying, check out Songs of Silence. It's going to be a hit. I think we looked at that a couple of weeks ago. I think. Just get back into here. Oh no, I was thinking of Songs of Conquest, which we had looked at. So, 2 Worlds at War. Or did we look at this one?
In this realm, light and darkness stand divided.
Oh, we did look at this,
Two sides of the same coin. We have existed in parallel, a fragile piece. But now, both worlds are under threat. Our choices define us. Am I really worthy to lead? I don't know why this grand old city fell, but if we pull together, we can rebuild it as our safe haven. True heroes emerge through triumphs and setbacks.
Look who's come begging for mercy.
We'll find a way to survive. I can't afford to show any weakness now.
Doom is approaching. Chains and silence.
We'll write the song of our destiny, and our song will shatter the silence.
That looks really good. That looks really, really good, actually. It reminds me very much of Brigandine. Chimera Entertainment, I don't know who they actually
The
are.
world was split. Our fate was sealed.
That looks like it's just a bit of backstory stuff. We won't worry about that one. But these battles, God, they look like Brigandine battles. Brigandine was such a good game as well. It looks like it's not as strategic or tactical, I guess, as what Brigandine was, but it looks like the map itself is, it doesn't look like a random map. A story-rich strategy game set in two distinct fantasy worlds threatened by an all-devouring silence. Yeah, that does look interesting, actually. I might have to jot that one down, I think, on my list of games to follow up. It does indeed look good. Right, so yeah, we'll just go back up. So Dave Flute's saying Ultimate Space Commando, so Counterforce update. Has it had an update, has it? I think it's just called USC, isn't it? The new version. USC 2. USC Counterforce. Yeah, so still early access. Okay, there we go. Defend the Base update. Okay, that's cool. All right, so they've actually now got the new game mode back in for Defend the Base. This was a fun mode to play in the original game, so that will be good. Prepare for the new challenge for the new game mode. Build and defend your outpost against waves of aliens with new tactical possibilities, upgrade weaponry and new features. Test your abilities and strategies. That's interesting to see that one as well. Okay, so that's actually a major addition to the way you can then go and play the game. So Tenip, I'm probably pronouncing it incorrectly, but saying what was the game a moment ago? That was Sounds of Silence. Sounds of Silence, which is not out yet by the looks. Now looking going back up through the list again. So Voodoo Dog saying had a couple of multiplayer matches in June. It really seems to be a well-rounded and well-done game. Yes, it is. It's sort of one of those games where I really liked it when I first played it, but it's gotten a lot better. It's even better now. So I'm looking forward to coming back in and playing more of that one. And Battlemate saying definitely looks like it's made for multiplayer. So I'm reinstalling it now. Yes. Rogue saying no battle mode. Remember, you're banning yourself. You have vids to put out. Well, he has indexes to add to videos. That's what he's got to do. So Serenity is saying that does look good, and then Ben is in saying, is that an auto battle combat game? I've got no idea actually. It does look a bit like it because there was no numbers floating around on the. It looks like it's actually even the setup actually when they were actually setting it up in the Songs of Silence did look like they were preparing locations for the different troops, so it does look like an auto battler, which would be good. So Axel's saying, hi Daz, so have you checked out Silence of the Sirens, a sci-fi Heroes of Might and Magic homage? I haven't even heard of that one. Silence of the Sirens. Okay, we'll have a look at that one as well. Silence of the Siren. Coming soon from Oxymoron Games. That does look like it's a random map to a degree. Same model there and there. Yeah, so that's a random map by the looks of things, I would imagine. Let's just get a few of these up. Let's get back into there. So yeah, that does definitely look like a random map in through that side. So building this, it is definitely Heroes of Might and Magic style, isn't it? I never liked the battle system of Heroes of Might and Magic. It just was a bit clunky, but this one looks like it's a bit more where things are sort of moving around a little bit. I might see if I can get my hands on this one as well. I don't know. They could sort of rattling gunners. I'll have a look. I'll jot that one down as well. So what was that? Silence of the Siren. All right. Hopefully I'll be able to read my writing afterwards. Okay. So B. Vargas is saying, anyone heard of Andalia? It's an indie RTS game similar to Age of Empires, but it's 3D and has a fantasy theme. Sorry, I'll just pause that. It's pretty well made. Got it on sale recently. I was fairly impressed with it. I don't really like Age of Empires, to be honest. I just don't. Those sort of games don't really do much for me. But I haven't heard of that one. And Tempest saying, yeah, it was a game a few moments ago. So, yeah, actually, I think someone might have said it was Ozymandias, the one that was more like a board game. That was, yeah, Ozymandias is is a very, did 1 or 2 videos on it, I think, when it first came out. Very, very good game. Very easy to play or easy to sort of play the game, but with quite a bit of strategy underneath it. Very, very board game-like, though. Yeah, so Sharky Mouth saying story rich usually puts me off. I want to create my own stories. Exactly. I'm sort of with you on that one. There was a game I was playing recently where I played it and it wasn't bad, but I can't think of what it was. Victor Corner with the story rich sort of aspect to it. Victor is then saying, yeah, Dune had small yet active multiplayer community on official Discord, but in multi they play it on 1.5 times or 2 times speed, so it feels very much like an RTS. I enjoy it in the single player a lot. Yeah, I don't only play it in single player. B. Vargas is saying, and Dahlia also has an active pause, which is always a plus in my books. Yes, I think that's important. I mean, that's Distant Worlds as well. I couldn't imagine playing Distant Worlds without being able to pause it. Brian Pitts is then saying, curious how often you go back and play older games like Distant Worlds Universe, Eodor, Space Empires, etc. type games, or do you just prefer the newer mechanics of newer games? I have gone back a couple of times to Eodor because Eodor, even with the remakes, the original still has some sort of little edge over the remade games. Having said that, there has been some good iterations of those, so sometimes I'll go back and just compare it. Like I think the last time I played an old game was Master of Magic, again just to compare it to the new game. So I do like to look at the comparisons, but I don't like to play the games. I find the graphics just a way too difficult to get my head into, so I tend not to do that one very much. Right, guys, well, let's do our marble run. It's time for that. Let's have a quick drink. And we'll get started. We'll put in the Nightbot. We'll log in, and so Drexy has to be put in there as well. So I'll make sure he goes in there. Go to the giveaways, and so the game that we are giving away today is again Rogue Station. So the keyword is going to be Rogue. So just type the word Rogue in there, and so just Rogue in the chat. I'll just go and get myself another drink of water. I'll be right back. But type Rogue in, and then we'll get this marble run done. We'll do another best of 3, another Grand Prix game, and not best of 3, but yeah, Grand Prix. And I think we'll be able to look at the points halfway through. And I quite like doing the random one last time as well, like where it just randomly picked the maps for me. So I quite like that. It seems to go fairly well. I'll be right back. Yeah, so again, just a special thank you to the developers of Rogue Station for giving me the key to give away. So that one is very much appreciated. Still got a few more rogues coming in. Yep. So pretty amazing that no one typed Rouge. Drexy first in, last out, says Victor. I'll put my own name in this one just so that if I win it, I can then give it away next time, because this is my last key that I've got to give away at the moment. So we're sort of getting sparse on the giveaways at this point in time. But just see if there's still more coming through. I'll just let them sort of still keep on getting into the system. So I'll just leave it for a little bit longer. I'll just get everything ready. Marble names, there we go. Put Drexy in, and me as well. Okay, Legit Spoon is the last one that we've got there, so that's because we're all familiar with terms like roguelike, and yeah, I guess so. All right, so I think we'll cut it off there and grab the list. Just see if there's anyone that didn't put their name in. Nope, everyone's activated. Good stuff. Copy. And we'll just go back into 45 today. That's good. Just go in and do the, where should we do it? This is replace all. Just get that one back down to there. Hugh David has just bounced in. I'll just double check that you're in there. You're already in there. So that's okay. Geno's is saying I'm in right. Yes, you are. Yep. So we've got big run this time, 45 players. So we'll save this one. And we will go back out again. I'll just minimize this. We'll get Marble Run up and running. So Ben, you late in, are you? Let me have a quick look and see if you made it in before or not. Too busy doing your indexes for your videos, I guess. Oh, we got another one. Okay, so I'll just add these in. Just bear with me. Just go back out to the list again. So we have to put in. Yep, battle mode is not in. Okay, so I'll just throw battle mode in there. And then we have, yeah, it was indexing. There we go. And I'll just copy, I can't pronounce the acrylic, I guess is a style of lettering there, sorry, but I will actually add that one in as well. So we have 47. We don't have that one anywhere else, do we? No, that's okay. And that's it, I think. Okay, so we'll close it off there at 47. So we'll save those marble names. We'll come back out across. Now we're going to go to race. We're going to play a Grand Prix. And we're going to play 3 maps. And we're not going to select the maps, which means that it'll just be random. The number of players will be 47. Sorbicol, are you not in there? 48. Let's have a quick look and see. Okay, Sorbicol in there. Yep. So we're saying what? Sorry, watching on the wrong channel. There we go. Rogue saying, what did you do now? Yeah, okay, that's all right. Now you're in, say 48 players. We haven't added them in yet, so we've got 48 in through there. It's going to be a simulation. We're going to go to settings. We are going to add names. We're going to clear the current list of names. Open her up. And grab those. Finish. All right, so we've got the 3 maps. And I guess I always forget where I start this. Grand Prix, there we go. I guess we just click here. So we've got the 48 simulation, that's the important thing. Here we go, guys. Good luck, good luck. We'll see how we go. I think we can actually, in between maps, actually see the actual list. So everyone's ready. What is this map? Twists in Turns is this particular one. And we'll start the race and away we go. So we'll have a bit of a look as we sort of come into this first loop. So the first one out is Legit Spoon. Hugh David coming in second, and away we go around there. Ricardo is getting closer to going down the first, so we'll just have a bit of a zoom in here. Ricardo out in front at the moment, but it's whoever's lowest, I think. Yeah, it looks like Ricardo is the first one. Down the loop, let's see where we end up next. Yep, so it's Ricardo, followed by Legit Spoon, followed by Temp. I'll just call it Temp. I don't know how to pronounce that in acrylic. Glenn, Chandra, then this will sort them out a little bit as they come into this other section. Ricardo's still straight through. Nobody's fallen off the map at all at this point in time, and we don't want people falling off with the Grand Prix. It's now Chond who's now out in front, and we've got Temp over the other side. Legit Spoon back on the other side through there. Here we go. Chondi is the first one through. Ricardo is now second. Sorbicol and Charank in there as well. Straight through this particular one. And we have Chond followed by Charank. All going that side. Here we go. We've got organisms going around this way with Zarks. But the first one through is Chondi and Charank, basically. Who's going to be the first one out of this little loop? It's Charank has now hit the lead, followed by Sorbicol, all heading down this left side of the map, which is interesting. And that's the finish point right there. Charank out in front. This will sort anyone that gets through. Sorbicol straight through. Ricardo's hit the lead again. So Ricardo is probably not going to be able to be caught here, I don't think. If I press F, no, it's not F. I thought it made it go slow. It's a T. Yeah, I can do the slow-mo mode here. So this is the finish here. We've got Sorbicol is just going to get there, just in front. Are you? Or is Ricardo going to get there first? Who's going to hit the bottom? I think it's Sorbicol. Yeah, Sorbicol followed by Ricardo. Wow. Followed by Battle Mode, followed by Temp, and then Roger Gleason. So there we go. We now just let it run forward. Nobody fell off the map, which is good. So everyone's going to get some points here for the first run of the Grand Prix. If you're in the top 10, you're in a good position, really. What happened to you, Charank? Where did you end up? So, there we go. Is that everyone? I know we've still got B. Vargas coming and Lucia. And no one fell off. So, good start, everyone. That was a winner was Sorbicol. So we can see the final results through here. And we can go across, this is the results. So that's the list. So I'll just sort of skim through. Where did you end up, Charank? You were right out in front. Did you just get caught up in that back end bit there? Or did you fall off? Wow. You really did badly there. Some people saying I fell off last week. Well, really, everyone fell off last week except for Voodoo Dog. So that's the first one. We can look at the results. We can actually look at the Grand Prix points as well. So this is actually in the list of names that we've actually got. So races, points. Does it showing us the points? It doesn't really show us the points there, does it? So who's coming first at the moment? It should be Sorbicol. Don't know why they're there we go. Sorbicol. No one's coming third. So second is Ricardo. I don't know why it's doing it in that order. All right, that's cool. We'll just keep on going. It's not really showing us much. I'll just go back to the results again. So that's the current results we actually have. I don't know how I can show the other bits and pieces. We'll just go to the next map. So good luck. The next one is endurance test. This sounds like it's going to be a bad one. My screen froze, says Charank. Yes, I think so. This is the same. This is a different map, but it's the same start as the previous one. All right, start the race. Here we go again. Yeah, it is different. It's a different map. Oh wow, it goes all the way over to there. Okay, we've got a couple of. It's going to be a long run. Drexy's out in front. It's not going to matter who hits the lead in here. It just really won't matter. Actually, Drexy's gone higher on the list up through there. I'm coming last. Down we go. Who's the first one out? It is Drexy, followed by CB, Chondi. So we're going on the right-hand side now as we come back through this one. No one's going left. Battle mode is. So Drexy in battle mode, basically from either side. Rogue has now hit the lead on the other side. We've got Drexy, CB, Chond, Lucia, Mike, Robber Baron. So they're all out in front from the other group. Straight through in here, straight past all of these. CB has now hit the lead. Lucia is now sort of streaming down that bottom section through there. It may end up slowing down and evening back up again. Lucia has now hit the lead. Ulrich is now also in charge there. Looks like we've got a whole other section on the other side there we have to do. So it is Lucia out in front here. Lucia, this will slow certain. Oh, straight through. Voodoo Dog straight through as well. Ulrich Christensen also now coming back through. They've both taken different tracks. Who will hit the lead when they come out of the bottom here? It looks like it's Ulrich just in charge. Voodoo Dog is now really caught up. Michael Druss, battle mode, Gyrox. Here they come. Final sort of loop. And it is actually Ulrich out in front of Voodoo Dog and Lucia, with Michael then following in the next portion. This will be the next little bit. So Ulrich is straight through. No one's fallen off the map yet. So Ulrich out in front and got caught up. Lucia straight through this time. So Lucia has now hit the lead. Actually, is this the end of it? Looks like this might be the end of the actual map. This could be the final bit. So this is the slow-mo replay. And Lucia didn't get the green. Actually, she did get the green. So that's the finish. And here comes Reed coming in second. Ulrich coming in third. Just let it go through now. Voodoo Dog doing very well. Battle Mode actually hitting in there as well. Charank did well that time. So if you sort of remember where you were in the last run, if you were in the top 10 in both runs, you're going to be doing pretty well. So we're just waiting on the slowpokes. Miguel and Genos. Look at Genos. What are you doing up here? Come on, you can get there. Everyone else is finished. They're all waiting. I don't know what the other map is over there. Here we go. Winner is Lucia. So well done with that one. So that gives you first. Reed was second. Ulrich third. Voodoo Dog, Battle Mode, Charank, Antonio, Michael, Gyrox, and then Drexy was 10th. If we have a look again at the Grand Prix, I don't know if it'll then sort of show us much in terms of the placing. Don't know why it's got 47th there. This one doesn't seem to be sort of working all that well. It's not giving us the actual list as to who's actually winning this one. It does say Sorbicol is coming out first there, but I don't know if that's true. Ricardo's still second there as well. Anyway, we'll go back. Not sure how that one actually does work. We'll just go back to the final race, guys. Good luck. I don't know how this all works. Procedural Raceway. I think we've played this one before. We'll start the race. So who's going to come in first? Looks like we may have a few people fall off this particular track. So Urusok is the first one through. Scott Jackson hit the lead. Oh, yes, this is going to be one of these ones where people fall off. We'll get destroyed, I think. We have played this one indeed. This one is quite dangerous. So Scott, I don't know where you are. Looks like you've been destroyed. I think when we hit these areas, you don't want to be out in front. I don't think anyway. Not seeing any other explosions. No one's actually fallen off yet. Urusok's still out in front. B. Vargas coming in second. Is that explosions? Yeah, these are explosions, I think. No one's hitting them. All right, so we now have Serenity and B. Vargas have now hit the lead. Not seeing anyone else. Oh, there we go. CB has fallen off. Don't know how or why, but that's actually happened. Glenn miles out in front now, followed by Reed. Reed's now doing very well in this run as well. If Reed gets through this one, may win the overall Grand Prix. Urusok is now back in the mix, along with Temp. Temp did well in the first race. Got these little areas back in through here. So no one else has blown up yet. Got Sorbicol way at the back, and Sorbicol was actually... Oh, Urusok is down and gone. So, and we've got the first one through. Is Reed is going to finish this one, potentially. Serenity coming in second. Is catching up to a degree. No, Reed is the first one in. Well done, Reed. Jemison next. Serenity, Glenn blew up. One of them blew up. Yep, so there we go. We've now got getting the full list. Everyone's now sort of streaming back in. Antonio didn't finish. Got blown up somewhere. Oh, that thing there must... I don't know what that does. Anyway, that's not going to worry us. Sphere and Games coming in last. Gyrox. Does that catch up with us? No, that's okay. So, actually, yeah, the others didn't actually... They missed out at the very end there. So the game itself actually destroys you. So Reed has now won that particular one. We'll view the final results. So second was Jamison, Serenity, Roger, Wiebenholz, Glenn, Victor, Mike Gillespie. So that's the end of it. Let's have a look at the finish the Grand Prix and see who actually wins. This one, I've got no idea who's going to come first in this one. So here we are. Who's come in third? Third place is Sorbicol. Okay, so the early leader, Sorbicol. Did you not finish that last one through there? Who came in second? Second was Reed. Okay, so who's going to be the winner of the game is Lucia. Congratulations, Lucia. Well done on getting the actual the Grand Prix and the prize. So I'll get you to email me. I'll just go back out. Just press escape. So it was Lucia, Reed, Sorbicol. Battle mode came fourth. Glenn, Temp sixth. Roger, Ricardo. All the way down through the actual list. So there we go. Just sort of look for your own name as we go down. We'll see who came last, just for chuckles. So Drexy almost came last. B Vargas came last. So congratulations there, Lucia. I'll get you to send me an email. I'll just go and do daztactic.com. Here's the actual email address. So if you can just email me that'd be great. So I won't be around next week, guys. So I'm sort of leaving in a day's time. So I won't be here next week, but I will be here the week after that. What else is there to talk? Yeah, all my training paid off, says Lucia. There we go. Please keep the game for next week, says Lucia. Oh, you don't want to grab it? You can. Like, it's a very good game. Like, it really is. So think about it. Like, if you do want it, then that's great. If I don't hear from you, then I'll just I'll put it back in the mix. But no, that was a good finish there. I do like this Grand Prix way of playing the game. Actually, it is better than the other one. Here, that Drexy almost last one. He's actually gone already, but we can all tell him next time that no, take it, Lucia. It is a good game. It is a good game. So Curry mentioned saying 35th, 14th, and 17th is the place 35th. Yeah. There, you down the bottom there. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So anyway, that's pretty cool. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it there. What else was there? There was something else I felt I had to, some other information, but I can't think of what it actually was. No, I think that's it. I think we're done. Anyway, have a great rest of the week, and I'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time. So people are saying if my parents find out I came in last, I'm going to get grounded. Yes. Anyway, that was a good run. I do like the Grand Prix mode. It's certainly good fun. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you next week, or not next week. I'll catch you the following week. I think we've tried to capture the games that are coming out.